Hello, and welcome to States of Discovery, the podcast where we feed our curiosity, follow our wanderlust, and sometimes, many times, go down a rabbit hole just for fun. I'm Sarah, and I'm here with Marissa, and today we've got something a little bit different for you. Usually, each episode focuses on one main topic, but after our recent trip to Orlando and all of the adventures that we experienced that turned into three full, fun, amazing episodes, we decided it was time to shake things up just a little bit.
So today we're doing a bit of a lightning round. We will be chatting about some of the coolest and honestly strangest things we've noticed about our states and our country. From what we call a certain kind of hat to the tiniest towns we've fallen in love with, this one's all about the fun details that make traveling and living here so interesting.
When you travel as often as we do, you get to see and experience a lot, which I think is a good thing and it's the whole point. But over time, you do start to learn what's really worth the trip. So, like a hot spring, and what might you do differently next time. Every experience is going to teach you something. I remember one of my first adult trips, and I think I was in college. We decided to go to Florida. This was the first, like, we're booking our own trip, we're booking our stay, this is what we're going to do. And we chose South Beach, which in hindsight was a choice. I didn't drink, I didn't go out, I didn't dine out, and it was just not the right fit. And looking back, I would have been much happier somewhere more relaxed, more affordable, less intimidating. I don't know if you would have a recommendation. Hey, first time traveler, Sarah, maybe don't go to South Beach. Maybe you should go to.
Yes. I'm also wondering what were you expecting or hoping for when you were going there?
So I think I Googled like best beaches in Florida. I knew that my
Okay.
local airport flew direct to Miami. And I was like, well, this is like affordable. It looks beautiful, like the water and the sand. That's what I was going off of. I didn't understand the culture of like people revving their Ferraris until like 3 a.m. Like that to me, I didn't
Mm.
understand. And the fact that I wasn't drinking, I wasn't going to bars, I was too afraid to go out to bars. I was just like, either on the beach or in my hotel room. I didn't really do anything.
Oh, that's a
It was
bummer.
a bummer, but it was a
Yeah,
learning
but I
experience.
mean, yeah, South Beach is certainly a choice, and it really has changed over the years. And my recommendation when people ask me this, I say go to Hollywood Beach, go to Dania Beach, and go to Fort Lauderdale Beach, because I do think those have the same level of beauty and peace and, natural landscapes, but it's a lot less of that tourism.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but I hear you on that because I my first experience with in New Orleans was very underwhelming. I was in my 20s. It was a last minute trip to Mardi Gras. It was freezing, obviously. Every February, it's very very cold usually, and I just remember being so surprised that Bourbon Street wasn't at all what I expected. It wasn't what I saw in the photos. It was very intense, and people just like throwing trash on the grounds, being way too drunk in public, which
Yeah.
for me, like, I always want to be like, hey, are you okay? Do
Yeah.
you need water? But then, they're just like being carried off with friends. And I get it. It was Mardi Gras. I do understand. But I think I was expecting something very different. And maybe that's me and my expectations. But I went back many, many years later. It was a totally different experience because, like, I chose to explore more of the city's cultural aspects and the neighborhoods rather than just those touristy spots. So, and then, yeah, to me, like, it wasn't worth the hype in that moment. But then as an
Yes.
adult, I really enjoyed it. So things can change. And I genuinely think it's the company you travel with that really makes all the difference.
Exactly. I mean, I actually took a trip back to South Beach once again on a whim with a friend. Gosh, it was, I don't know how many years ago. Let's say 10 years ago at this point. So I was out of college and she just wanted to go somewhere. So I'm like, okay, let's do this. It's affordable. And it was actually a good time. We also weren't partiers, but like we were trying different restaurants. We took a stroll down some different neighborhoods. We were looking at architecture. It's a totally different experience in South Beach. It was still like obviously a party town and a tourist town, but we were just doing things that like weren't on that strip where everyone is and all the bars and clubs
Yes.
are. So but thinking about other
Yes.
other places that kind of get hyped up and like maybe there's an alternative that's a little bit better. So like talk to me about the Wynwood Art District because I feel similarly I've seen it in if I Google it or I research it, it comes up, but is it worth the hype, or should there be somewhere else that maybe people should consider?
Yeah, I grew up going to Wynwood. They used to have a free art walk every Friday where all of the galleries, and it was predominantly galleries and warehouses. There was no commercial businesses or anything. And you can go in, look at some art, grab a free drink. They would just have coolers for people or wine, and then just go pop from gallery to gallery. They don't have that anymore. It's a lot of like Lululemon and
Yeah.
these high end stores that nobody wants to go to. Plus, now you're paying like $15 in parking, which is
Mm,
insane. So go to some place like Flagler Arts and Technology Village in Fort Lauderdale, Fat Village, as people know it. That is, they've been renovating it for the past couple of years, so I think that is like comparable where you can get the art scene, but not as much of the chaos and
yeah.
commercialism, which I think is very cool.
I do. There's also, if you love like art cities, they're all over the place, right? But I recently went to Santa Fe, and I know that Santa Fe is expensive, and there's this whole discussion about like people who live in Santa Fe or want to like be there, they can't afford it anymore, and I think that that is a separate discussion. But the fact that there are so many galleries, like per like square foot per capita, is wild. And
Yeah.
it isn't like they're very protective of like the galleries and designs. So although there are some shopping districts that are more commercialized, like there are certain streets to where it's like gallery upon gallery upon gallery, and you're just buying things from artists you really like, and whether it's earrings or necklaces or paintings, like I think that's really really beautiful. But on the other side, similar to art, Cornhenge in Ohio. I've seen the pictures of Cornhenge all over the internet, and I think people expect it to be like Stonehenge, like huge, like it's concrete ears of corn, which is wild, but like a overwhelming. It really isn't. It's a roadside sort of snapshot. Um, so I
Mm,
wouldn't necessarily suggest if you're coming from out of state to make a trip specifically for it, unless there's something else in the area, because I
right.
wouldn't want you to feel disappointed by it. We do love our corn in Ohio, but if you're looking for weird art, I would say maybe try. These are in different areas, so not necessarily Ohio, but like the Cathedral of Junk in Austin, Texas, the Vessel in New York. I don't know how many times I've been by the Vessel. I'm going to Javits. I'm going to like places in the area, and I don't bother to go up into the honey. Like, I always see people wandering
Mm.
around, and I'm like, this must be such a good view. I never do it. Um,
Oh.
I know. Well, usually I'm just like, you know, on my own nerd journey. So then also Meow Wolf. There are multiple locations of this. There's actually
Mm.
one coming in New York, but there's Santa Fe, Denver, Las Vegas, Grapevine, Texas. Like they're everywhere, and it's the an immersive art experience that I love, and I am an evangelist for Meow Wolf. Everyone should go at least once.
Mm. Yeah, it's definitely on my list. Maybe that one in Austin that's now the new Meow Wolf slash spa house that's opening up. That would be a
Yeah.
great like first timer.
And you know what? Thank you for inviting me.
But
I will of course go. Wow.
yeah,
That was so kind.
yeah.
You heard
No,
it
let's do
here.
it. Combining the best of both worlds, soaking in hot water and art. But yeah, in that same vein, like I feel like Plymouth Rock, Massachusetts, is very much another one of those. Just like I don't want to say it's overrated, but I think you expect more from what you get. And I get it, there's a lot of history and symbolism for people. But it really is just like a tiny slab of rock
Hmm.
that's like protected by iron, fencing or whatever. And that's it. And that's all you get out of it. And I think for some, you can look at that and be like, oh, I traveled all this way, thinking it's just like this massive rock and overlook of the ocean. And it's just a tiny little like engraved piece of stone.
Behind a small fence. It's
Yeah,
but being in Massachusetts, you're not far from history, right? Like there's other
yeah,
places to explore.
everywhere. 100%. The Freedom Trail is a great example of that. Um, I mean, yeah, I think you can find a lot of these like still underrated historical places and be wowed
Mm,
instead of a little bit disappointed.
yes, and whenever I was in Boston for a conference, I remember I not only did I crossed the river to go see Stephen King and Joe Hill do a little talk and like excerpt from their book, which is amazing. But then I stumbled across the Freedom Trail. I was like, oh, like on my way back, I'm like, well, why not just explore some of these things, because you're going to get bang for your buck there, you know? Um,
Yeah.
and speaking for bang for your buck, one last thing that I feel like we've even covered, I think it's so quirky and fun. The, the desert of Maine. It's great for some pictures. I think that it's legitimately a cool spot, but also if you're looking for bigger, grander dunes, maybe consider going to Sleeping Bear Dunes in Michigan, going to the Great Dune National Park in Colorado or New Mexico? Colorado.
I don't know why I want to say Indiana.
Wait, what am I thinking
Am I
of?
thinking of something
No,
different?
you
I don't
are.
know.
Sand Dune National Park. What am I thinking of out west?
I don't know. Garden of the Gods in Colorado?
Maybe. See, you learn something every day, and you'll
So what
never.
happens when you travel too much?
This is true. Like, you know, the dune thing, but like there's so many dunes.
Oh
That next
no, Great Sand Dunes. You're
national,
right. Yeah, Great
yeah.
Sand Dunes National Park in Colorado.
I'm thinking of,
So
but
what
there
am
is
I
the
thinking
Indiana
of?
dunes.
Oh, I'm thinking of, yeah, Indiana Dunes National Park.
See, we love our national parks here at Only Interstate.
Yeah, this is what happens when you travel too much and all your memories blur together.